Hey everyone, and welcome. Today we're diving into something really special. It's a device that seems so simple on the surface, but it's actually born from this really touching personal story. It's all about connecting families and, holding on to the simple, powerful magic of someone's voice.
So, let me ask you this. How do you share story time when you're just miles apart? It's a real challenge, right? Maybe you're in the military, or your job has you traveling all the time, or maybe you just live in a different state from your grandkids. That special little ritual of a bedtime story, man, it can feel almost impossible to keep up. So what do you do? How do you close that gap?
Well, the answer doesn't come from some big tech company or a fancy boardroom. Nope, it starts with a childhood memory. And honestly, a kind of heartbreaking lesson about how time works. We're going to get into the story of one of the co-founders, Zephyrus White.
Okay, so picture this. It's the 1970s, and Zephyrus is a kid growing up in Kansas. He and his siblings would get these cassette tapes in the mail from their grandmother. They had this amazing nickname for her, Grandma Goose. And they'd all huddle around the tape player and just listen. It was pure magic. Her voice, so familiar and comforting, reading them a story, even though she was hundreds of miles away.
And this timeline, wow, it really lays out the whole journey. It starts with that awesome memory back in the 70s. But then fast forward to 2017, Zephyrus finds those old tapes and he's so excited to share them with his niece. But when he plays them, nothing. The magnetic tape had degraded. The voice, his Grandma Goose's voice, was just gone. And that loss, that really sad moment, is what planted the seed. A few years later, during the pandemic, that seed of an idea really started to grow, leading to the first prototype, and now you can actually find it on the shelves of independent bookstores.
So out of that really personal loss came this incredible solution, a way to make sure that those beloved family voices, well, they never have to fade away again.
And here it is, the recordable Book Buddy. It's this sleek little device that you can attach to any children's book. It lets you record yourself reading the story page by page. And the absolute best part, its simplicity. There are no apps, no Wi-Fi, no screens. It's just about the book and the voice. That's it.
Now, Zephyrus couldn't do this alone. To bring this idea to life, he teamed up with Arden Ariel, and she is the perfect person for the job. Her background is super impressive. She's a former U.S. Navy electronics engineer and was a student at Harvard. So she had the technical chops to match his vision. They actually developed the whole thing at the Harvard Innovation Labs, which is pretty cool.
Okay, so that's the why behind it all. It's a great story, but now let's get into the nitty-gritty, the how. How does this little thing actually work?
All right, first up, it's got 21 recordable buttons. That's actually the perfect number for most kids' picture books. You can do one page at a time, or even a whole two-page spread on one button.
And each of those buttons gives you up to 30 seconds of recording time. So when you do the math, that's more than 10 minutes of total audio. That is plenty of time to get into character, do all the funny voices, and even leave a little personal message at the end.
And you know what? The whole process is so easy. Seriously, you just power it on, and then you press and hold one specific button to get into record mode. And this part is genius. They designed it so a kid can't accidentally erase everything. From there, it's simple. Press a button, read the page, press it again to stop. You just do that for every page. Then you use these little number stickers they give you, pop them on the right pages, attach the Book Buddy to the back cover, and bam, you're done.
And this is where it all clicks. The first real test of the prototype really showed them the magic they had created. Arden sent one to her grandparents to record, and when her son Alexander heard his great-grandpa's voice reading Three Billy Goats Gruff, he just laughed himself silly. Pure, absolute joy. In that moment, they just knew. They knew they had something really special.
But this little device is about so much more than just a cool way to read a story. It's actually a really smart response to one of the biggest challenges we face as parents today.
I mean, let's be real. We're in a constant battle with screens, right? Screens are all about constant stimulation, which can make kids just passive consumers of entertainment. And we all know they can totally mess up bedtime routines. The Book Buddy, it does the exact opposite. It uses this really simple, elegant tech to pull a kid's focus back to a physical book. It helps build those family bonds, and it's 100% screen-free.
And we all know the benefits of reading to kids are huge, right? It builds their vocabulary, helps with cognitive skills, and probably most important, it helps them fall in love with reading for life. And think about this. For a child who struggles a bit with reading, being able to hear a voice they love and trust reading at their own pace, that can be an absolute game changer.
And that really brings us right back to where we started. Full circle, back to the core idea, the whole mission behind the Book Buddy.
So remember those old cassette tapes? The ones that just faded away?
Well, the recordings on the Book Buddy are stored on permanent integrated memory. They are totally secure, so even if the batteries run out, that voice, that story, that memory is safe. It's the one thing Grandma Goose never had, and now it's possible.
So, that leaves us with a pretty powerful thought to end on. This thing isn't just a toy or a gadget. It's like a time capsule. It's an archive. It's a way to capture a voice right now and save it for a child, and maybe, just maybe, for their children to hear one day. So it really makes you think, whose story will you save?